One native New Yorker inspired by Thomas Downing, the son of freed slaves who peddled oysters on Wall Street in the 1800s, has created an oyster experience that pays homage to New York City history. Today we're visiting Mother Shuckers.
Well, I started Mother Shuckers in about 2016. I had been shucking oysters for a long time. I'm from Brooklyn originally, but I had been shucking oysters in Louisiana, in Florida, pretty much all over down south where I was living at the time period before I moved back to New York.
What do you love so much about oysters?
It's one of the most sustainable and important food groups that we actually have. That's not really something that most people have a good exposure to. For instance, when I was living in Florida, I really did not like oysters at all. I thought they were disgusting.
You were just shucking them, but you weren't eating them.
I thought they were disgusting. But when I came back to New York, I started working at places that had a little bit more of a selection of oysters. This place, one specifically called Pier.
I love that place.
Yeah, they're amazing. And they used to make us flip and smell every oyster. In doing that, I would actually get to smell the different regions that oysters were coming from. So I could tell the oysters were not all the same, and it gave me an intrigue at least to try it again. And after trying my first oyster and loving it, I was like, oh wow, I actually do something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I don't just do something because I'm, getting paid to do something that I have big hands and don't mind stabbing myself,
Wait, so you started shucking oysters because you have big hands and you don't mind stabbing yourself?
I don't mind stabbing myself. Everybody else was terrified. Then I started to actually get really good at it, and then started to do some more research on my own. There's this book called The Big Oyster. It's all about New York City's oyster history. It introduced me to this guy, Thomas Downing. He's a black man he turned it from something that people were kind of every man's food on the street corner into a fine dining experience.
So your oyster carts are kind of an homage to how things started out in New York?
Correct.
I love learning a little oyster history. Now tell me about what you serve here at Mother Shuckers.
So it's an homage to Cajun food. We have different platters that we do here, and then we do a sandwich that I call the Rich Boy Burger.
Instead of a po' boy?
Instead of a po' boy, Rich Boy Burgers. They're really delicious. You're gonna get to try one. So we got clams on this side.
What's on these?
One's called the classic topping. The one's a sushi topping, cucumbers, seaweed, ponzu, wasabi. And another one's a candy apple topping, a little bit of Granny Smith apple, horseradish, hot sauce with yuzu.
Oh, that's cool.
Yuzu and mirin. That's an oyster chowder. And then this is the Rich Boy Burger. So it's all 100% shrimp.
Wait, so you don't have to put anything else in there to hold it together? It's just shrimp?
Just egg and shrimp, yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't mind if I do. You must have a lot of experience shucking these because this is perfect. Look at that. This is really good.
So one of the other reasons why I got into doing this is because of this company that's over here, the Billion Oyster Project. They actually collect all the shells and actually putting them back inside the harbor to recreate New York City's oyster surprise.
Moody, thank you so much for eating with me. Can't wait for these to make it back into the harbor.